Hello, fellow travelers. Welcome to a little corner of Hungary. This beautiful country is full of history and charm. It also has some of the most delicious food in Europe. I recently had an amazing adventure here. I learned to cook traditional Hungarian goulash. This wasn't just any cooking class, it was an invitation into a real Hungarian home. It was a chance to connect with the heart of this wonderful culture. Goulash is more than just a soup or stew in Hungary. It's a national treasure. It's a symbol of Hungarian identity and hospitality. For years I had dreamed of tasting authentic home-cooked goulash, not the kind you find in tourist restaurants. I wanted the real deal, the kind a Hungarian grandmother, a Nagy mama, would make. My journey took me away from the bustling city of Budapest. I traveled to a small, picturesque village. Rolling hills and quaint houses dotted the landscape. I was on my way to meet a local grandmother. She had graciously offered to teach me her family's goulash recipe. My Hungarian goulash adventure was just beginning. We arrived at a lovely little house. It had a cheerful painted facade and a well-tended garden. Flowers bloomed in vibrant colors. This was the home of Nagy Mama Ilona. I could already imagine the warmth inside. Smoke curled gently from the chimney. This was the authentic Hungary I had hoped to find. It was a world away from tourist traps. The moment I stepped into Grandma Ilona's kitchen, I was enveloped in warmth. Wonderful smells greeted me at the door. There was a hint of lingering spices. The kitchen was clearly the heart of this home. Traditional Hungarian embroidery adorned the tablecloths. Copper pots, polished from years of use, hung on the walls. It was a kitchen filled with love and countless meals shared. This kitchen wasn't a modern sterile space, it was a lived-in, loved-in room. Generations of recipes had been perfected here. Stories had been shared over simmering pots. I felt an immediate sense of comfort and belonging. Nagy Mama Ilona's presence filled the room. Her smile was as warm as the kitchen itself. This was a place where memories were made. This kitchen was more than just a place to cook. Then, I met her. Nagy Mama Ilona. She was the heart of this warm Hungarian home. She had a kind face etched with the lines of a life well lived. Her eyes sparkled with a youthful energy. A colorful headscarf was neatly tied. Her apron was already dusted with a fine layer of flour. She greeted me with a smile that could melt glaciers. It was a genuine, open smile that made me feel instantly at ease. Her hands, though aged, looked strong and capable. These were hands that had crafted countless delicious meals. Nagy Mama Ilona's personality was as vibrant as her kitchen. She was full of life and laughter. She radiated a gentle kindness and patience. This was especially helpful as I fumbled with my few Hungarian phrases. She didn't speak much English. I spoke even less Hungarian. But it didn't matter. We communicated through smiles, gestures, and the universal language of food. She had a delightful chuckle. It bubbled up often as we navigated our linguistic differences. She was clearly a woman who loved to share. Our communication was a joyful dance of pointing and nodding. Nagy Mama Ilona soon gestured towards the ingredients. They were laid out on her sturdy wooden table. Everything looked incredibly fresh and inviting. There was a beautiful cut of beef, marbled just right, piles of golden onions sat waiting, and of course the star of any Hungarian dish, paprika. She pointed to a vibrant red mound of it. These were the treasures we would use to create our goulash. She emphasized that good goulash starts with good ingredients. Many of them came from her own garden or the local market. She then showed me her special paprika. It wasn't just any paprika, it was a deep, rich red. The aroma was sweet and slightly smoky. She explained with gestures and a few key words that there are many types of paprika. Some are sweet, some are spicy. For her goulash, she used a specific sweet variety. It came from a trusted local producer. She stored it carefully to keep its flavor potent. The quality of the paprika, she stressed, makes all the difference. It gives goulash its signature color and taste. Besides the beef, onions, and paprika, other key players were present. There were plump carrots and earthy potatoes. Brightly colored bell peppers added a splash of color. Section 5. The dance of flavors begins, sautéing and spicing. The cooking process began with the beef. Nagy Mama Ilona heated some lard in a large, heavy-bottomed pot. Lard, she indicated, adds a special flavor. Once the pot was hot, she added the chunks of beef. The sound of the meat sizzling was music to my ears. The aroma began to fill the kitchen. It was a rich, savory smell. She didn't overcrowd the pot. She browned the beef in batches. This ensured each piece got nicely seared. This step, she showed me, builds a deep, meaty flavor base for the goulash. Next came the onions. Lots of them. Once the beef was browned and set aside, she added the chopped onions to the same pot. They sizzled gently in the remaining fat. She stirred them occasionally. We watched as they slowly softened. They turned a beautiful golden brown color. The smell of sweet, caramelized onions mingled with the beef aroma. This was the foundation of the goulash's flavor. Nagi Mama Ilona nodded with satisfaction. She knew this was a crucial step. Patience here was key. Then, it was time for the star, the paprika. Nagi Mama Ilona removed the pot from the heat for a moment. This was important, she explained. Section 6, Simmering Magic, the slow transformation of goulash. Now it was time for the goulash to simmer. Nagi Mama Ilona added liquid to the pot. It was mostly water, she explained, though sometimes beef broth can be used for extra richness. She added just enough to cover the meat and onions. She gave it a good stir, then she brought the mixture to a gentle simmer. Not a rolling boil, she emphasized, just a soft, steady bubbling. Slow cooking is the secret to tender goulash. It allows the flavors to meld together perfectly. This was where the real magic happened. After the goulash had been simmering for a while, it was time to add the vegetables. Nagi Mama Ilona added the chopped carrots and bell peppers first. These vegetables need a bit more time to cook. They would release their sweetness into the stew. The potatoes would come a little later. This prevents them from becoming too mushy. Each ingredient was added at just the right moment. Her timing was impeccable. It was clear she had made this dish hundreds, if not thousands of times. The waiting game began. The pot of goulash bubbled away gently on the stove. A lid was placed partially on top. Section 7, Aromatic Anticipation. The kitchen fills with joy. As the goulash neared completion, the aroma in the kitchen intensified. It was a symphony of smells: rich, savory beef, sweet onions and paprika, earthy carrots and potatoes, a hint of caraway and garlic. It was more than just the smell of food cooking. It was the smell of comfort. It was the smell of tradition. It was the smell of a meal made with love. My stomach rumbled in anticipation. I could hardly wait to taste it. This aroma was a promise of delicious things to come. The visual transformation of the goulash was just as exciting. What started as simple ingredients had become a masterpiece. The stew had a deep, inviting red hue. This came from the generous amount of quality paprika. Tender chunks of beef nestled amongst colorful vegetables. The sauce was glossy and just the right consistency. It clung beautifully to the meat and vegetables. It looked incredibly appetizing. It was a feast for the eyes before it even reached the table. This was food that nourished both body and soul. Nagi Mama Ilona made her final checks. She tasted the sauce with a small spoon. A thoughtful expression crossed her face. Section 8. The feast is served more than just a meal. With the goulash cooked to perfection, it was time to set the table. Nagi Mama Ilona brought out simple, charming earthenware bowls. She laid down a hand-embroidered tablecloth. It was a scene of rustic elegance. Often, goulash in Hungary is served with fresh, crusty bread. This is perfect for soaking up every last drop of the delicious sauce. Sometimes it's served with small, homemade noodles called sipetka. Today, we had wonderful hearty bread. The table was set for a feast. Nagi Mama Ilona carefully ladled the steaming goulash into our bowls. The rich red stew filled the air with its incredible aroma once more. Steam rose invitingly from each serving. The colors were vibrant. The tender beef and colorful vegetables looked so tempting. She added a dollop of cool sour cream on top of mine. This is a common and delicious accompaniment. It adds a lovely creamy tang. A sprinkle of fresh parsley provided a final touch of green. It looked absolutely perfect. Then came the moment I had been waiting for, the first bite. I dipped my spoon into the bowl. Section 9. A taste of connection carrying Hungary home. As I savored the last spoonfuls of goulash, I reflected on the day. This experience was so much more than just learning a recipe. Yes, I now knew the secrets to Nagi Mama Ilona's amazing goulash. But I had gained something far more valuable. I had gained a genuine connection with a wonderful person. I had been welcomed into her home and her heart. I had experienced Hungarian hospitality at its finest. These are the travel memories that truly last a lifetime. These are the moments that enrich our understanding of the world. The warmth of Nagi Mama Ilona's kitchen stayed with me. Her kindness and patience were a gift. The memories we created, chopping vegetables, stirring the pot, sharing stories, even with a language barrier, were precious. I would never forget her sparkling eyes or her infectious laugh. I had arrived as a stranger. I left feeling like a friend, almost like family. This is the magic of travel when you open yourself up to authentic experiences. It's about the people you meet along the way. The goulash itself became a symbol. It was a symbol of Hungarian culture, rich and flavorful. It was a symbol of the love and care that Nagymama Ilona pours into her cooking. It was a symbol of the connection we had formed. Every time I make goulash in my own kitchen now, I will think of her.